Oh, okay. Here we go. We're ready to go. Are you ready to go? I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Welcome back to Punch Truck Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three bambinos are finally back together to talk about nerd shit. It's me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me is...
Miguel Sanchez.
And Deadpool.
Yes! We were not expecting you to be on this podcast, Ed. We were all taken by surprise. Christmas has come early. It's nice to have you back. I feel like a guest now.
Yeah, I do feel like a guest. I feel like a stranger. I thought I would... I was playing it by ear, to be honest. That's why I wasn't openly saying I was coming back. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it and then have to fall through. But here I am.
God, it's good to have you back, Ed.
It's so good.
We'll see. We'll see. You guys might just be sick of me by the end of this episode. So you're just
you're bringing a balance to the force.
I've been listening to these podcasts since my absence, and let me tell you, it's been a real treat.
Luis and I have been kind of vibing.
We've been
that is the only reason I'm back here now, because I have FOMO, and I'm not going to have you guys just like run away together to some paradise.
Hang on a second. Whoa. Okay. He also got a sick ass haircut. Luis, we were talking about your haircut last week. Look at Ed, dude.
It's contagious.
Go to our YouTube.
YouTube.com/
not clean ass haircut, not skinny ass Ed, dude. Are you eating?
Yeah.
Have a meal, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
If anything, I've eaten so much since having a baby. People just keep giving us food.
Yeah.
It's hard to... and mostly Italian. And I'm not complaining. That's not a complaint. But it is a lot of Italian. And I was even saying to Sarah the other night, like... There would not... Like, generally speaking, you would never have tolerated this much Italian food back to back. But we have been enjoying.
But sometimes you got to eat
so much,
Italian,
and it's easy. It's easy.
No, you look good though. You look like you lost 10 pounds since the last time I saw you, dude.
Oh, raising a child. We're all just like
you did a lot of work there.
Lost sleep, just tired, just tired. Well, thank you. I guess that's why I came in with the leopard print.
Where'd you get that leopard print? I'm curious. Have you had it for a long time, or is it new?
I have, but I only whip it out for certain occasions. And
it's a special one.
To Miguel's point, like, this is the first time I've worn it where it actually wears loose. Like,
yes, sir.
It was getting tight.
Sir.
But yeah, Eddie's been working on himself.
Yeah, has he?
Well, Ed,
I've got two kids to keep up with now. I need energy,
Guys, this episode's brought to you by Ozempic, okay? Welcome to the podcast.
By the way, have you guys heard of Ozempic?
You can get that like on Keeps now or something like that.
Bro, it's just wild.
It's just like, you want it? You get it. No problem.
No, they're fucking pushing that shit. They're like, anyone can have it. We're fucking
anyone.
Until there's
solving the problem now.
Yeah, pandemic about it. It's just like, everybody just all of a sudden was on Ozempic. Do
you remember your granddad would be like eating on asbestos in the morning, and everyone was like, no, it's fine. That's what Ozempic's going to be in like 20 years. Everyone's going to be like, oh, fuck, we probably shouldn't have done that.
That was a bad idea.
At least we were all so skinny.
I know, and they're making those ads kind of classy. It's just like, and they're pushing it on me hard.
Oh, I bet in California, hard, dude.
Yeah. Everybody wants it here, right?
You want to fit in?
Literally.
No, seriously. We're not here to talk about Ozempic. We're here to talk about nerd news. Usually we have a feature discussion like what did we just watch last week?
The top 5 ranking of the new
last movies of the year.
Yeah.
It was a ranking, and then before that it was Joker, Folie à Deux, or whatever. Anyway, my point is we usually have a feature discussion that we kind of center on. That's the climax of the podcast. But this week it's very news heavy. So we're going to talk about news. We're going to talk about trailers.
Yeah.
We're going to go up and down with this thing. And then at the end, we're going to wrap it all up with what we're into, things that we've seen, read, or watched, or listened to.
Hey, can I give a quick shout out real quick?
Yeah, shout him out.
Eric, our friend and previous co-host when Ed was out, Eric just saw Joker 2. He saw it yesterday. He texted me today about it. He was like, I finally saw Joker.
Okay.
And guys, you'll never believe what he said. He liked that fucking movie.
He did?
He did, dude. That's what I'm saying. And you know what I told him before he saw it? I kind of gave him I was like, he didn't listen to our episode because he always listens to the episodes, and he was like, I'm not going to listen to it until I see the movie. And I was like, that's great. We don't want to spoil it. And I told him, I was like, listen, man, I don't care what you think about the movie at the end of it. Whatever you genuinely feel, as long as you go and see it yourself.
Yeah.
And he waited. I mean, it's been 2 or 3 weeks since that movie came out. And so it's the internet's kind of died down about it. So he just kind of went in fresh and came out. Thank God. I know.
Well, we're going through that bitter phase. Everybody's acting like they were traumatized by it now.
And it's
people latched onto that thing like their life depended on it.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, well, here comes
his only criticism was it was too long. And I was like,
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I that's something I've said. I was like, I felt like by the end of it, I was exhausted because it was so long. And I felt like that was purposeful. But, if that's your big criticism of the movie, hey, you know what?
Did he expect us to hate it or to like it? Was he worried to listen to the pod because of our opinion?
No, I feel like he really tried to go into it with a neutral mindset because he initially was like, "Nah, I'm not going to go see it," and then I was telling him "Nah, dude, I just think that it's really kind of underhyped."
Okay, right.
And he was like, "Okay, well, let me go see it." And
the hate is overblown.
Yes.
Yeah, I think people have gotten so rage happy about it that
I shared you that
overlooking the merits of the film. I'm not saying it's a perfect film, but so many people I've spoken to since watching it, but who I'm having to bat against because they've already formed an opinion
because of the internet.
They're just oh, I heard it was shit. It's okay.
But did you see it?
What else did you hear? You know what I mean? Try something different. Try something new. I'm not saying you're going to love it. And actually, I've told people who I feel like I have a firm idea of what they like and what they don't like. Some movies are not for everybody, etc. And I'll be I think overall you probably hate this, but I don't think this is the movie that
they're making it out to be.
They're making it out to be. Yeah.
This is a genuinely well-made movie, but what it does with the story and with the character might not be for you.
Yo, wow, what a review! We're about to turn into a Joker podcast, dude. Y'all better watch out. All right. But
this
Eric,
is our folly ado.
I think Eric he might even leave a voice memo for us, and we were talking about that last week. We're trying to take in voice memos.
Yeah.
So if you listen to the podcast and you're like, I want to get my voice heard, hit us up with a voice memo. We don't have to go off on a tangent. Shout out Eric. Luis,
I love it.
This is your podcast. Take it away.
This is our podcast. And guys, you know what we all eat? Goldfish. But guess what? Goldfish is no more.
What?
Did you know that? Yeah.
Wait, what?
Goldfish crackers will temporarily be named Chilean sea bass crackers to appeal to adults.
Wait.
Do you guys
said
remember
Goldfish Vice President Danielle Brown?
Do you guys remember a year or two ago when IHOP was like, we're not IHOP anymore? And they were like, we're IHOB. And they were like, we do burgers now. I'd be like, shut the fuck up, okay?
Sit back down and make me a pancake.
Remember when they were like, Mr. Peanuts is dead? Remember that whole thing? What did
and you were like, yo, what happened to Mr. Peanuts?
Yeah. Eminem is like, we got a new role model. It's like everybody wants to do something really bold and daring now. Well, that's what they're doing here.
No, that's good. Shout out Goldfish. We're a Goldfish house, apparently. I'm not. I'm the outliir in my house.
I don't like Goldfish, but my daughter does. So,
right.
I feel like society tells me to like Goldfish.
They just don't. It's like popcorn. It's sustenance. You know what I mean?
And it's not even good. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's not very cheesy.
Hot take: if we're gonna go for a cheesy, crunchy snack like that,
cheese it.
I cheese it all the way, dude.
Yeah. Cheese it
all the way,
flaky, cheesy,
mature
you get
cheese.
You get those over toasted ones. Have you ever had that where they're slightly burnt?
Yeah.
Come on. Yes.
And Taco Bell's doing the cheese it.
I haven't had that yet.
I haven't yet either, but I did see it the other day. I was like, oh boy.
Dude,
I'm just going to keep driving.
No, it's for the better.
Thank you. Yeah. I agree.
Hey, Goldfish is no more.
Yeah.
Bummer.
You know what else is no more?
What?
Blade.
Y'all, we gotta fucking talk about this, dude. The internet is itching to talk about this. Guys, 2019, pre-pandemic. Let me take you back, okay? They fucking wheeled Mahershala Ali out there on that fucking Marvel stage like he was about to be the golden god of MCU. They were like, Endgame? Nah, Blade game. Okay, we're ready to go. They had him put on the fucking hat like he was Kevin Feige. You know what I mean?
No, we were doing a live show at Comic-Con at IGN, and we were doing all the announcements right when it was happening. And then when they were announced Blade, everybody in the fucking room was yelling, Blade, 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 Blade.
Yeah.
Like, and that became an ongoing joke in the office. And now this movie is, like you said, no longer happening.
And then Luis, you worked for IGN for 5 more years, and Blade still is not out.
And nothing to report.
Insane, dude.
Yeah.
I listen. I know we talk a lot of shit about the internet, and we try not to just like ride the wave of whatever they're talking about. But no, the internet's got this right. Okay, like how do you fuck this up so hard? Like
I think
Blade,
it was just
Mahershala.
The pressure of that. No, I think the fact that it didn't organically come to life. You had like one of Hollywood's top like actors right now coming to you saying, "Hey, make me this character and make it work."
I'm gonna be Blade, but at the same time, first off, I got to commend him for him being like, "No, I just won this Oscar and I'm your next Blade." Okay,
right?
Like he was kind of like, I don't know, dude. The sauce is here, dude. It's already pre-made. Like we can just do this.
It was a time at that moment. Yeah,
it really should not have taken this long. A little bit of a spin-off news from this, though. Now Marvel is pushing the Midnight Suns, which Blade is a part of. Have you heard about this?
Actually, no. Whoa, they shouldn't do that. If you're pushing Blade, then don't do the Midnight Suns, right?
Well, hang on just a second. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just what I've read. Okay, Luis.
Miguel, what are you thinking?
Fucking sorry. I was talking to Kevin earlier. I said, I don't know if we should do that.
He's like, just go on your little podcast and spread the word. Okay.
Yeah. What do you got? 200 subscribers? Let's break the news.
Let's test the waters.
So now apparently Marvel is like pushing the Midnight Suns, which is like a team up, Dark Avengers roster.
Yeah, little magical Avengers, dark magic Avengers.
Yeah, I want to say Strange, Ghost Rider, Blade, Wolverine. So it's like they're like, maybe we could put a bunch of different properties all in one and do the spinoffs off of that. Which might be the formula, but I don't know. Sorry, Ed, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you mentioned Wolverine, and I was going to say earlier, is like, do you think the final nail in the coffin was Deadpool and Wolverine when people just saw Wesley Snipes again, and they were just like, fuck, who's Mahershala Ali? You know,
the line that really did it was that whole "there's only one Blade," you know, and they made a joke about it. I want to say that Kevin is probably sitting up awake at night, going, "Why the fuck did I allow that line?" In the movie? You know, like we were right there, and Mahershala too. I just have to assume. I don't know his journey, but I just have to assume that Mahershala along the way let out some pretty strong expletives. At every step of the way, and by this one he was probably very numb to it. They were like, we're gonna go ahead and just like postpone this movie, and he was like, great. I read this crazy fact. He was apparently gonna be Jim Gordon in the Batman, but he had to pass because he was attached to Blade.
Oh man.
And it's like, now Jeffrey Wright is great. I really like him as Gordon. I do see why they were leaning towards Mahershala. But could you imagine being like, I didn't get this movie because I was contractually obligated to you and you jerked me around for 5
I'm sure that's been the case for a lot of projects, honestly.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, what was the last movie? Where has he been? Yeah. You know? Because, I'm fucking tied up on this shit. We're about to do Blade for the next
all
3
he did was
years.
a voice for Eternals. At the very end, you hear him say, 2 words?
No, dude. Hey, don't bring up Eternals, man. It's pretty sensitive.
I have this like list of things that have happened, like a timeline.
Oh, I love that. Go ahead. Yeah, give it to us.
So July 21st, Blade's officially announced. They were supposed to begin filming in October 2022, and it was officially confirmed to release in November 3rd, 2023. And then on September 28th, 2022, the director exits the film, and then it was pushed. Yeah. And then by November 21st, 2022, a new director signed up. And then it was pushed to 2025. There was a writer's strike, so then it stopped again. And then that second director that they hired, then they left.
He left, yep.
Yeah, he left. And then it's canceled. So it's just...
Dude, in that time, DC filmed and scrapped that Batgirl movie. You remember that? Yeah. They got Michael Keaton in the bat suit for a whole movie. Brendan Fraser was doing pyrotechnics, and then they scrapped it for tax reasons, and Blade still hadn't even begun production. That's insane. Yep. I saw a tweet earlier, what was it, today or yesterday, that was like Mahershala had just come over to DC at this point, and they were like fan casting him as the Martian.
That's a good fan cast.
And you know what, dude? Like, I don't know, maybe, like I could see that.
If I was James, I would do that. I'd be like, come on over here.
James Gunn needs these wins, and like Superman is really going to be
like, fuck it, let's put it in a Superman movie. Let's add another character in there.
Let him. I mean, fucking Captain America and Red Hulk, whatever that movie's called. They did so many reshoots, and Giancarlo Esposito, he was added in like 2 weeks before they finally finished that movie, and they were like, now he's all in the trailers, like he's the biggest character in that movie.
They're like, you wouldn't believe what character I'm playing. I wouldn't believe it. Okay. I don't know who it is.
The very recognizable guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, Blade. Fuck it. He like whips out the sword. Yeah. You're like, whoa, wait. Daywalker? No, I don't know, dude. Marvel, we're in this like really fun era of if Marvel's flopping and DC is like maybe going to be good. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to give it too much credit until we see Superman. But
exactly, we gotta actually start that universe first before we give it too much credit.
Yeah. And we saw what happened when we tried to start the last one. So
exactly, man. Superheroes.
What are we, 20 minutes in already? I knew it was going to be a 3-hour episode. Let's go.
No more Blade. The Goldfish name is no more. Also,
what?
No more Oscar nominations for Hans Zimmer this year because Dune 2, movie that he scored, is ineligible to be in the Oscars, which I was kind of surprised when Ed sent this to us.
This fucked me up when you broke it down, the rules. It fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah, I had to take a day off of work.
Hey boss, I'm not coming
in. So obviously he won the Oscar for Dune Part 1, and bully for him. But this was definitely one of my like top like front runners for best score this year because I love the score for Dune 2.
Right.
And it is a very weird gray area where, as far as franchises or sequels go, like, depending on how much music is actually original music compared to just continuation of themes from the first movie, that determines whether or not it's eligible. So specifically in cases, I'm going to quote now, just so I don't sound like an idiot. In cases such as sequels and franchises from any media, the score must not use more than 20% of pre-existing themes and music borrowed from previous scores in the franchise.
That's crazy because, like, if you think about the Dune theme, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine the Superman theme, the Batman theme. Well,
I was thinking about this. John Williams has been nominated for multiple Star Wars movies. Which kind of begs the question.
They kind of all.
Well, I mean, you have the original
themes that carry
Empire
over.
Strikes Back, like the Darth Vader.
Like new additions too.
There are a couple different ones.
Quantifiable 20%. I feel like that's like the big question mark.
I mean, that's the gray area. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's especially with Hans Zimmer, who we know he's not like a theme-heavy guy compared to John Williams. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you enter into a Harry Potter movie, you know what that's the tune you're gonna hear.
What is the tune, Miguel?
Dun, 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 dun.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, but also it sounds a lot like fucking Star Wars. Okay,
And then
like,
the tune for Dune, like I feel like most people are just going to be like, "Ha!"
Yeah,
and
that's the
Let's do
thing.
that again.
It
Yeah.
really does kind of overpower. They were
But,
like, "No, we're not shouting again." All right,
It's like, how many times do you have that woman just like blaring into the microphone?
but it's also so good.
It is so good. It hits so hard. But yeah, it's unfortunate anyway. I was really looking forward to Dune kind of sweeping and technical stuff again this
I'm
year.
sitting here wondering, like, is this a rule that like had to be enforced because of things previously, or is this something that's going to change here soon? Because it just seems like a moment where it's like, if the score is really good, we should, recognize it. But these like arbitrary, like really fine-tuned rules are kind of capping it. Am I making sense? I'm sorry.
It totally makes sense. I feel like this is like there should be an investigation into this report.
Yeah.
Like how do you really decipher the 20%? Is it through sheets, through tones?
Yeah.
Like
what's the formula you're following?
Exactly. Like, are they turning in the music? Like the actual.
I want to know.
There's like an AI program like seeing all the notes on the page.
You copy 20% of this score for this score.
Hey, fuck you, robot!
What's funny about us talking about robots is actually that's what Nolan's next movie is going to be about.
Allegedly. Go ahead, Luis.
Okay. All right. So I've heard it from big insider, not IGN, but other insider Hollywood people. Okay. I'm in LA. I'm hearing some inside Hollywood people. Hollywood people.
I heard Pollywood, so
I heard Pollywood. I was like, okay, you little freak. All right, go ahead.
Pirate.
Tell us more.
So I heard, I'm here in LA. We got a lot of Pollywoods here. And so they say that the movie is going to be inspired by Blue Thunder. Have you heard about this? So I also caught this Reddit post. I wanted to read it. It says, my sister's father-in-law works in... my sister's father-in-law...
Wait, run that formula real quick.
On. My sister's father-in-law works at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, and there's been excitement among the personnel in the NYPD aviation unit that Christopher Nolan and key people from his production will be arriving in November to spend roughly a month with the unit head of production on his next movie with Matt Damon joining early next year. The word is that the movie will be a New York-based futuristic action movie about a helicopter pilot cop who heads up the aviation unit in the U.S. and the creation of a super advanced yet dangerous helicopter itself being pursued by terrorists. Instead of circulating a screenplay to key personnel, Nolan has apparently made sure they each received high-quality versions of the 1983 movie Blue Thunder that starred blah, blah, blah. From what I'm hearing, it won't be a remake of Blue Thunder, but we'll use that title. But Nolan is a fan of the movie, blah, blah, blah. So from what I heard from this insider, not this person that I just read, but from another insider person, is that it's this movie and that there have been other movies that people have been calling out like, oh, it's this. And Nolan's team apparently keeps shutting those down. But when word about this one started bubbling up, no one was saying anything. And so to him as a reporter, he was saying, oh, this has some like merit. It could totally not do this at all. But like from him scoping the land, it's like, oh, you called those out and not this one. Interesting. And
I just think it'd be pretty wild if he was like I'm going to go from the creation of the, you know what I mean? Like atomic bomb to being like, hey, you guys, y'all fuck with helicopters? Like,
I mean,
what? It was like previously I was messing with time. This time I'm like, man, rotors look so fucking cool.
But it's a futuristic one.
It's futuristic.
What does that mean? It's got an iPad for a control screen.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
holographic. Everyone's wearing Vision Pros.
Whatever, dude. I fucking love helicopters too.
Knowing Christopher Nolan, it'll still be very analog. You know what I mean? It will still be very...
It's the only way to communicate in a digital world is to use analog, machinery. And then obviously the bigger news not the bigger news, but the more obvious news we want to talk about was not only was Matt Damon will be in this movie, but somebody else. Who is it? Our favorite British boy.
Not apparently. Apparently, some people just hate the average English accent.
You know, Ed, you have a very good English accent. Okay.
Yeah. No one has ever sat here and said Ed talks like shit. Okay. Like But for some reason, you really carried this, you know what I mean? This burden, if you will, for a couple of days.
I felt slightly affronted because Tom Holland doesn't even have that strong of any kind of accent.
Okay, well, Tom Holland, hold on. Sorry, the audience is confused. Tom Holland is the person who will be in this next Nolan film.
And first off, I want to say shout out Tom Holland. The internet was like, your agent is fucking you up. He's not giving you good movies.
Right.
And then boom, he got a Christopher Nolan one. And it's like, yeah, this is great. This is a good move. I would like to see Tom Holland do something other than Spider-Man. He's in this like new era. Have y'all seen him recently? He's like tanned. He's got this like bowl cut. Like he's like, okay, dude, like he doesn't drink anymore. Like, okay, man,
he
like
doesn't
I
drink
see
anymore?
you. No, it's a whole thing. He's got a non-alcoholic beer. But I just want to say, listen, I was listening to him speak recently, and cancel me. Go ahead. If I can't be on the podcast anymore, I'm sorry, but his accent is a little silly. Okay, like I don't subscribe to that accent. I'm sure there's like a whole portion of the world that speaks like that. But I was like, I messaged the group and I was like, you guys, this accent is so silly. And Ed really came back pretty hard and was
I simply pushed back. It's like Ed was like atrocious.
Ed was like, Miguel, you're being really harsh right now. And I was like, but why are you so sensitive right now, Ed? Like, I thought we were allowed to bully people in our podcast, you know what I mean? Like, just slightly.
Miguel,
okay?
If anybody likes a little pushback, it's Miguel Sanchez. This is like, we're gonna get into it now.
Let's do it.
Can I go
make this conversation unnecessarily spicy?
I know. I just expected. Really, what surprised me the most is I thought Ed didn't like Tom Holland, and I thought I was like serving up like a low-hanging fruit.
I thought that too for some reason as well.
And for some reason, Luis was the only one that was like, "Yeah, I don't subscribe to this." And Ed was like, "You're being too harsh, Miguel." Tom Holland, he's like the word time. He's like, "Yeah, I've just like spent a lot of time on this recently." Twime. And you're like, whoa, bro! Like it's.
I did say that I do feel like anybody who doesn't. That now I'm going to sound like a dick, but I almost said like proper English, like I speak proper English. I don't, but like
I just want y'all to know, Ed's lived in America for 17 years. Okay,
21 years, Miguel. Thank you very much. There you go. But no, I people who do have like a slight twang, or like we would call it a townie accent in England.
Is that offensive to say, or is that okay?
It's a label.
You got a Italian accent, I
Puerto
see.
Rican. You got to be careful with that.
There's the townies.
I don't like that.
Us fine country lads. But no,
I take it back. I've heard
because
words.
Like celebrities have to enunciate. You feel like they're over enunciating everything, but if they have an accent, it's like doubly exaggerated. Like Andrew Garfield is kind of like all over the place.
I was going to say,
but I told you as an example. I like the day you sent me this. I had just listened to an interview with Naomi Scott, who, for one, I didn't realize was British. For two,
I didn't know she was British.
Has like a real like thick, and I'm going to say like London townie accent, but I might be way off. She might be from fuck elsewhere. But I was just like, God, you sound stupid because you're emphasizing certain words.
That's first off, that's all I was saying is respectfully, Tom Holland sounded so stupid when he spoke. Okay,
I guess when I hear it, it doesn't sound like, oh, this is a bit. You know what I mean? Right. That's what it feels like.
I do think to tag on to what Ed's saying, something that he kind of inspired me to say just now is that I feel like when you are pushed into like mainstream American movies,
right,
and you have to like promote this like American dialect or accent, or whatever that might mean, I'm sure it does get a little like, especially because Tom Holland has been acting in movies since he was a child.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if this like constant back and forth of this is my real voice. I mean, Colin Farrell as well, right? Like
I personally
he's got like a
feel
strong accent.
Tom Holland has a pretty. He's one of his actors who has like a believable American accent.
I thought he was American.
His is pretty
in fact, when he speaks British, I feel like he's not.
Again, it's just like
maybe that's what it is. It sounds put on. Exactly.
Yeah, he sounds very American.
Yeah, he's our Spider-Man right now.
Yeah,
he's our little Peter Parker.
He hits that Parker. No, you're not wrong. You know whose American accent I don't love is John Boyega's. Okay. Something about his like Star Wars performance. I like his character and I like John Boyega, but there was something I was like, you're putting a lot of like breath, like a lot of emphasis into each syllable, and I'm like, it's not quite believe it. He's always like, and now I'm talking, and I'm like, you got that accent swirling around.
He's got a real like, what do you call those accents that he has? Like,
I don't know. You tell me.
Because I saw him in The Block, right? And he's like.
Yeah, like Cockney, not
there
Cockney,
you go.
but
like that. So it's very
Actually, I kind of agree with you, Miguel. Like I saw him in Steve McQueen's Red, White, and Blue, and where he plays the London cop, and I mean, you believe him there. It's like way more natural.
His natural voice sounds so much more believable.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
But which is so crazy because Tom Holland's natural voice is like, bro, quit this clown ass voice you're putting on. Like, like honk honk.
He keeps it up for Zendaya,
I know. No, I'm talking shit, and the thing is, Tom Holland's gonna be all right. Okay,
he's gonna be all right.
It doesn't matter what we think. He's
gonna do another Spider-Man, and after that, he's gonna be in a Christopher Nolan movie.
Did you hear his comments about the new Spider-Man? He's like, "Oh, it's okay. It needs a little bit of work, but it should be exciting." I'm like, "Well, that doesn't make me feel good."
No. I take it. No, I'm gonna be the opposite end of this, Luis. I kind of like his new stance on things. Like he's not. You remember that early days? They were like, "Oh, he spoils movies." It's not that anymore. He's speaking very truthfully and honestly.
He's like, about this movie. It's not that good.
No, I don't think that's what he said. He said it's a solid script. There are things that need to be worked out. But me and Zendaya were sitting there reading that script, and we were like, this is a good script. Yeah. It's just not there yet. But it's there enough that I can go on Jimmy Fallon and be like, yeah, I'm Spider-Man still. Yes, we're going to do another Spider-Man movie.
That's what I gathered from it too, is like he's excited for it.
It's just not quite there yet.
But it's also he's being precious about it because I think also like No Way Home was kind of his baby in a way, right? He kind of had like a more producer's hat on.
Yes.
And I feel like even more so now, and I think he has even more sway because of the success of that movie.
Yes.
I think he can actually make some
He made a really good point where he was saying that like we were right in the thick of COVID when we made that movie, and he was saying I'm paraphrasing here, but like I just didn't quite think that movie, no matter how big it was and how great it was for audiences, it didn't quite have the zhuzh that it should have. And so I think that's what he's going into this next movie saying, like it's almost there, but I think we can find that sweet spot.
All right. I'm curious to see what's going to turn out, not just with the Nolan film, but the new Spider-Man film. But we got some more new films coming here.
Yeah. Speaking of Zendaya, who just recently worked with a certain director named Luca Guadagnino.
Go ahead.
And Tom Holland.
It was recently announced that Luca Guadagnino is going to be directing a new adaptation of American Psycho.
Woo-wee. Man,
the
internet
obviously
is split
the book,
on this.
but also famously the 2000 movie with Christian Bale. So this is a mixed bag because I love American Psycho, the movie. I have read the book, and there's a lot more to the book than is in the movie, but it's not an easy book to adapt, obviously. But then Luca Guadagnino is a really fun and kind of hitting on all cylinders kind of director right now. I don't know. What do you guys feel about this?
I think you make a good point about like he takes interesting takes on movies. Like, you know, we saw this movie one way with Christian Bale, and he's going to look at it at another different perspective, like at this angle.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see his kind of like what he prioritizes, what he focuses on, and then he's going to highlight it with his like vision and his design. So I don't think it's going to be like a one-to-one thing. I think he's going to, like you said, take certain things that weren't in the movie.
Yeah,
and use that, but then also keep certain things we've seen. I think he's going to do something interesting with it, at least, or at least take some chances.
It has a chance to be its own adaptation.
Yeah,
and
it's been long enough. I know people really hold on to that Christian Bale performance, but
like nearly 25 years.
It's been a long time. Mila Kunis did American Psycho 2. Do you guys remember that?
I never saw it, but I've heard of it.
No one saw it. Okay, I'm just saying you remember it. Okay, but it's like it was too soon. You know, it's like they were trying to capitalize off the success of this thing, and it just wasn't quite there. But it's been long enough now, and it's a good name, and it's like okay, like there's potential here for it to be the next generation's American Psycho.
Okay, I put like a fun little game onto the bottom of this.
God.
I just was like, I mean, you guys are familiar with the movie. We're big fans of the movie, original movie, maybe.
I've seen it.
Okay, well, it's a pretty big character. Like casting for this is going to be huge. I feel like. So,
but
who would you guys just like a little fun casting, like wish casting? Who would you see as Patrick Bateman?
You know who I could see casted as Patrick Bateman, but I don't know if Luca would, but if somebody other like studio-led director.
Yeah.
Austin Butler. I feel like they would have casted Austin. Now, I don't know if Luca's going to do that because I feel like he finds interesting casting choices, but like some like other director, he would have totally been.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what I was afraid of was Timothée Chalamet.
Ooh, we don't want
and
that.
I agree with you though. Yeah. Like I feel like because it's not just like a studio pick director, like this is I think there's a chance to get a little weird with it. But equally, actually, like one of my top choices might also be as cliche, but I would go for like Robert Pattinson or Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield's good. You know who I was thinking? What about that guy? Maybe that he looks too much like Christian Bale. The guy from 1917,
George McKay.
The
lead guy,
the guy that was running in the movie.
Interesting.
The guy that was like the runner.
Yeah.
Yo, hang on a second.
Get on board with that.
That's actually pretty good.
It's not bad, right?
Because he's got a very interesting, very like strong structure to his face, but he's also got these really good eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like it could serve that character. Wow, I hadn't thought about that. That's actually pretty good.
Damn.
I've got a slight counter, but that suggestion made me think of this one. Is the guy who is going to be in that Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman?
No. Not that I necessarily think you're wrong, Ed, but I've had this like feeling lately that I just can't stand
Harris
new
Dickinson.
Actors. Okay,
Harris Dickinson.
No. Oh, shout out Harris. Shout out. Okay,
that's his name. I just wanted to say that.
There's something about like actors barely doing something, or they get on like a Netflix show or something, and then they get these big roles, and it's like I think you are capable, but I don't think you've earned it yet. Okay.
Okay.
Like I really want you to like the girl that was in Civil War and then was also in Alien Romulus.
Kaylee Spaney.
She like is coming on to the scene because everything she does is like a step in the right direction. And I hate when movies go, oh, you're hot and new and young, and let me put you as the lead of this movie. But it's like talking about Jasmine from Aladdin earlier. We were talking about her. She's in Smile or whatever. What's Aladdin's name? Do you know him?
No.
Yeah.
No, that movie made $1 billion. Okay,
I don't know who he is.
But you don't know his name, and I'm not talking shit about him specifically, but I'm just like,
I hear what you're saying.
We're in this like mode of
Focus.
Hollywood where we need to like put pretty young faces and see who sticks.
Yeah.
It's like, I think pretty people work. Don't get me wrong, but like you have to like put in the performance. You have to be good.
I would argue, to your point, Miguel.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think, well, no, but I do 100% agree with you, but I feel like that would actually be more of like if they did go with Austin Butler or
like that's in the opposite
Timothy
direction where it's like it's too on the nose.
Yeah, like you're just like, okay, you've just picked the most popular guy right now.
I hear you. And I feel like there's like a middle ground. There's a sweet spot.
Like George Mackay and I think Harris Dickinson has had that. And if you think about it, I mean, even by American Psycho, Christian Bale had quite an expansive career at that point. Like he had been a child star, worked his way. He'd been doing stuff consistently for a long time. So, and that was just like a very dangerous and different role for him, which really put him on the map. So, yeah, I 100% agree with actually what you're saying is that right now we are just seeing the same faces in every movie, basically.
Yeah.
And you want a little excitement.
I'm not against pretty people. I also want that talent to be,
because
I want that spark, you know?
Yeah. But that's also part of the Patrick Bateman persona, isn't it? He's like this physical idealized vision of the successful American businessman.
But there's something underneath it too.
Right, of course. An American Psycho.
Damn. Me and Ed really locked in there. Sorry, Luis.
No, I'm over here looking at George McKay's IMDb and Harris Dickinson. Like I'm comparing and contrasting because we were so for George McKay. I'm looking at Harris Dickinson. He's done Maleficent, Kingsman, Where the Crawdads Sang, Iron Claw, Beach Rats, Triangle of Sadness, Baby Girl.
Okay. See, now I'm over here talking my shit, but those are some pretty great credits.
It's about to have Baby Girl.
And I'm looking forward to Baby Girl too. I said that last week, so I'm not over here talking shit. I'm more so just saying, wow, okay, maybe I should need to like broaden my scope a little bit. Also, like, let me just like
we clearly all agree it should be a
explore.
British actor.
Right. Tom Holland. Let's get him on here. He could be better. Ed, you like the Foxcatcher, don't you?
I do.
Well, the Foxcatcher person is going to be making a new movie, and he's going to be working with.
I don't think that's the same.
I think it is.
You know what?
I don't think that's the same director. Bennett Miller directed Foxcatcher.
Yeah. So Charlie Kaufman to write Bennett Miller's next film.
Oh, okay. Word. Because it says Charlie Kaufman movie.
I know. I was trying to trick you there. I didn't want you to know what was going on. What I really wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And it says, so I knew you. This is very quick. I knew you liked Foxcatcher, so I was going to say it. These two are coming together. The untitled film, which tackles AI, is set up. We don't know who the mystery actor is attached, and that's it.
And we're also big fans of Moneyball, which Bennett Miller also directed.
Oh, yeah. Charlie Kaufman did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, being John Malkovich, Synecdoche, Anomalisa. Yes, adaptation. So it's just like these two powerhouses coming together to talk about AI. You know, it seems like something interesting to mention.
That could be fun. I like that idea. Miguel's over the idea of AI versus humans.
It's just like
that's Hollywood gold.
I get it.
This is the conversation. The multiverse is so last year. Now it's AI.
James Cameron started it. You know,
guys, let's talk about this for a second. Have you guys used ChatGPT for other things in your own?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've used ChatGPT. Like, it is the new Google for me because anytime I have questions like, wait, I don't understand. Why did this happen in this way, and this way, and this way? And then they tell me exactly what happens in a concise way. And I'm like, oh.
You brought that up a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Google, and you were like, sometimes I just go to ChatGPT, and it's like, that's kind of what. Oh my God, sorry. That's wild that like Google is a household name.
Yeah.
And you're like, let me sidestep that to go to this thing. I used it. D&D. I've been doing D&D with some friends.
Yes.
And I'll have my like character pulled up, and I'll just be like, hey, write me my next move for D&D. And it'll be like, and I'm like, and then he fucking,
and then he fucking, well, for my at my wedding, I danced with my mom, and I wanted it to pick a certain song that was, Spanish based and all that stuff. And I didn't know anything. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me 20 good songs to dance with my mom. And okay, I will say this. It wasn't the first thing that they listed. So I would listen to the songs, and then I would say, no, I want this, this, this. And then it gave me more. No, I want this, this, this.
Oh, that's good. You worked with it. You had a conversation, a dialogue.
Yes. And I think that's something that I kind of want to talk about is like, it's not taking the first thing. These are suggestions and ideas for you to bounce off of. Like, I'm not the best writer. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is not a strong suit.
Oh, I disagree.
But I will write something out, and then I'll say, hey, fix this for me. And then it'll rewrite it, but then I don't just copy and paste. I say, what? Instead of saying diving, you're saying experiencing or whatever. They swap or they move things because I like, apparently Spanish is my first language, and then I learned English. So my whole grammar is like backwards and upside down. So it's helpful to like bounce it off like ChatGPT and be like, hey, does this sound right? And they're like, try this. And I'm like, okay, let me take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then I mix it in with my sentence. And it's things like that I kind of like. It helps, and I appreciate.
I like that you were like, apparently my first language was like, what do you mean? Are you just not figuring that out?
I was young in that time. Okay.
That's fair. Oh my God, I can't remember what I'm blown away that you were like, ChatGPT, what was my wedding dance? Oh, I'm getting there. I'm almost there.
Yeah. It's like asking, like, give me some recommendations about songs I could dance with my mom. Yeah.
I read something recently or maybe I heard recently. I don't read. That was like the big controversy is like AI is going to take our jobs, but someone pointed out that was like it's not AI, it's like the people that know how to use AI, are the ones who are going to succeed. So the fact that you're like breaking down these things and going, no, let's go a step further, like to be able to, I don't want to say manipulate because that seems like a strong word, but like to be able to go. Let me twist and configure this prompt to get the thing that I need.
It's all about refining
a skill.
You refine it. You say, add this, add that. I mean, you can use it to brainstorm. You can even use it like, hey, I'm going to New York for 4 days. Can you write up an itinerary for me?
Yeah.
And then you write it in there's like, well, no, can I do more like free things, or can I actually do more stuff that involves the theater? And then it will reorient itself. Like I was trying to make some apple pie, and then it said, I have this. And I was like, well, I actually don't have those ingredients. Can I use it without it? Sure. Okay,
try
great. Do I need this, or can I add cinnamon to it? Sure. What are the specifications? Oh, it's this.
Ed's like, now, if you don't know how to make apple pie, you got to come to me.
Well, I'm just saying that was an example. I don't know if it was apple pie. I think it was something else. And there was like, I wanted to make my house smell good, and there's a way to like cook it. Like you put cinnamon and orange peels and like all these cardamom in it. And so I was asking these very specific questions. And when you try to Google it, you don't really get all that stuff, and it just kind of concises it.
Sure.
That's not even a word.
Like when you Google it, you just then have to pick like a new recipe. Like which recipe
when you Google
you're
it,
going to go
I'm
with.
referencing
the recipe.
Things.
There's a 9-paragraph story on why I'm creating this recipe. We're leaving that era. You know, we're getting to the points, the bullet points.
Show me the real.
It's probably obviously like there's a lot of like things with it, but I have been using it in that way. So anyway, this movie's going to talk about AI, Charlie Kaufman and what's his name? Bennett Miller. All right. Now, this is going to be the meat of the pod.
This is the feature discussion. Oh my God. Okay.
All right, guys, it's time for trailer talk. We got a lot of movies here. Ed, you put this one in here.
I did. I put all of them in there. I'm pretty sure.
No,
you didn't.
No. 35 minutes ago, he was like, I haven't watched half of these trailers.
4, 5. I put 5 in here. And
Okay, I put 3. How many did you put in, Miguel?
My dick. Let's go.
Okay, Ed.
Wolfman.
Oh, yeah.
Guys,
Wolfman.
I watched this one. Woo.
Yeah, there was a teaser trailer a couple of weeks back, and I think we did touch on it. But
let's talk about this.
From Lee 1L, here is Wolfman, the guy who directed the 2020 Invisible Man, which offered a surprisingly fresh take on the classic Universal horror story.
People like that movie.
And I like that movie. It's a good movie.
He was also in Saw, right? He was the guy in Saw.
Yes. He was the guy, the reporter.
He was the guy who didn't cut his foot off in that first movie.
Right. So yeah, he's directing The Wolfman, and they just dropped a trailer for it.
Wait, the director was in Saw?
Yeah, he was an actor too. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Mostly an actor up until recently.
Mm-hmm.
For my money, this movie looked good. It had me
I was
going to
say, I bet Ed fucking loved this movie. Watching this trailer, I was like, yes, he wants to see this.
It looks like good monster horror, like in a present day kind of setting, in a what looks like, an isolated situation, so it's not going to feel too long. Like,
you guys remember that movie, The Strangers? That was the vibe I was getting, but like monster horror,
right? Yes, exactly. Like one incident, one night. And we're following this family overnight.
I do like the premise of it a lot,
Yeah.
Because like an overnight 8 hours, like that could be a scary ass time to have to survive,
because
great horror directors know that. Like, we don't need to give this like long prolonged thing. Like,
we know what we're here for. Yeah.
Because here's the thing about most werewolf movies.
Go on.
That feel like a little inconsistent. But guys, when do werewolves appear?
In the full moon.
At the full moon. So what if this movie took place during one night during the full moon? I think that would just be perfect.
Sign me up.
Because like in a werewolf movie, it's just like, 5 minutes later, it's the next full moon.
You can't go day to day in a full moon. A full moon is a very cyclical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying.
I think this will be interesting. It looks fun.
I thought it looked really scary. I don't think it looked fun. I was like, I'm breathing heavy. I'm breathing heavy just watching this trailer. No, there was a moment where oh my God, there's great dialogue. There's a little girl. She's scared, and the dad goes like, my job is to protect you. And then like later in the trailer,
he kills her. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he brutally murders. No.
I mean, he might. We do not know.
He's like transforming into this monster, and she's like, Daddy, like, no, and it's just like these things really scare me. So.
I don't know if you had any experience. I don't know if I'm a bad person for this, but like when you're watching this trailer, there's a moment when someone is calling. They're on the phone, and they're like panicking, and they're calling the police, and they're like, help me! Like, what's wrong? My husband is bit. Did anyone of you like pause the trailer at that moment and be like, wait a second? Husband?
Oh, okay. So we did have a conversation. We did have a conversation in our house where the blonde actress, she's from Ozarks. You know the clip where she's like, "You're gonna have to fucking kill me."
Julia Garner for.
Yeah. Sorry, I apologize. But there was a moment where Kristen goes, "That's not his daughter." Like before they revealed it, and she goes like, "That's like the nanny or something." And
to be fair,
and she was like, "My husband."
There's only an 8-year difference between them.
Sure, but it just she reads a little young.
Oh yeah, for sure. She was born in '94, so she's the same age as my youngest sister.
And he skewed a little bit older too.
Yeah, he was born in '86.
So he skewed a little bit like 84, and
it's one
then
of those
her
things
like 96.
on paper you go, yeah, that works, but it didn't quite match. The
And then I looked at the comments, and I wasn't the only one who thought that too.
I bet. Yeah. And then
did you guys have this conversation? Was I on this conversation?
I
don't know.
You had this conversation with Kristen.
Home.
I had it with myself in the comment section of YouTube. So.
Okay.
It was something we discussed. It was like, they don't quite look, we didn't know what and then at one point the girl goes, mommy, mommy. And it was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah. She's the wife. And then they transfer the whole vibe to being like, cause he's like, I'm going to protect you. And then it's like, he's the monster. And she's like, she has to step up. She's like the Sarah Connor of the movie now.
Like they're attacked by a werewolf and then he becomes the werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was into it. It looks pretty good.
That sequence where they're stuck up in the tree is pretty cool.
Yeah. Like a Jurassic Park kind of thing.
Yeah. That's how it starts out. And I like the tension there. This movie comes out January 17th. What do you think about that?
I think actually, I think that is actually becoming more of a norm is we're starting to see like some
okay movies.
Take advantage of that kind of dead weight time slot. Like people are still going to the movie theaters in January, like
because there's nothing out.
They're still catching up on holiday movies, but also I think more and more we're seeing like these actually good movies coming out in the new year.
I do think there's something
legs.
Long legs, which we'll talk about in a second. I do think there's something to be said about putting a movie out, like a genre movie outside of season. Like we want to see Halloween and Halloween, right?
Yeah.
We want to see the Santa Claus at Christmas.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, maybe during the year there's moments where people are like, I could totally see a scary movie right now.
Yeah.
So it has previously been tough, but I do commend it for being like, no, we're going to do a January movie. We got it.
We've also got Mickey's 17 coming out in January.
There you go. That's true.
Yeah. The hierarchy of seasons are about to change.
They are. We're about to see a huge shift.
It's going to start with Code Red, starting Dwayne Johnson. Ed, you put another trailer in here.
I did. I told you I put all of these up.
We go from wolves to monkeys.
We were talking about long legs, and director Osgood Perkins has another horror movie coming out called The Monkey. It's based on a Stephen King novella, and this trailer just looked fun. It looked like a fun, kind of twisted, and just like long legs, visually kind of appealing looking movie, like well shot. It looks like quirky yet bloody, and it looks like a fun mix of genre going on here. It's not like long legs that's pure like thriller. Sorry,
I'm about to watch that movie, so that's okay. Spoil it or whatever. I can hop off.
Long legs is a laugh riot, Miguel. I can't wait for you to see the hilarious ending.
Okay. Oz Perkins, he's blowing up right now. This is about to be his genre, his niche. But I will never forget him as Guy from Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde, yeah.
It's just that's how I see him when he shows up in interviews. I'm like, motherfucker.
He's the guy that everybody that Legally Blonde defended when he was getting picked on.
Say it again.
Like he was getting bullied and Legally Blonde.
He was getting bullied.
Reese Witherspoon saved
Legally
him.
Blonde saved him. Yeah, exactly.
She's Legally Blonde.
Why was he getting bullied? I'm sorry. What was that?
Because they were like, "Hey, let's go on a date," and then the brunettes were like, "Oh, we'll never go on dates."
You're talking about like character-wise in the movie.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like, well, he was getting brutally bullied. In real life, and Reese Witherspoon was like, "No." In
the movie, he was getting bullied by brunettes, and then she's like, "Don't you worry, I'm a blonde. I'll get them to be jealous of you."
And then she's like, "No, he's high," and he gets a whatever.
And then they're like, "Oh my god, a blonde likes him. Then we like him too."
A brunette?
So you're from Memphis, all right?
We're gonna get a canoe.
Leclerc. So the monkey, same guy. Yeah, I mean, this is it's a different vibe from Long Legs, because you've seen the trailer. Everybody's seen the trailer. And so but it's the same. Like Ed nailed it. It's the same visuals, funny quirks. This is from Neon. Neon's been killing it lately.
Neon knows what they're doing.
They've done Long Legs. They did Cuckoo. Is it right? Cuckoo? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
That's how I would have said it.
Cuckoo. Yeah, cuckoo. And then they also did Immaculate, that other movie. They're starting that. Yeah. They're starting this, like they're saying, hey, A24, we're here to play as well. Funny enough, I was looking at their filmography. They also did a Mavis Beacon documentary.
Mavis Beacon.
Do you guys know who Mavis Beacon is?
I talk about her all the time. So,
okay. Well, this might have been for the older crowd of my generation, but to learn how to type, we did this app called Mavis Beacon. Okay. You would go to your computer class, you would put on Mavis Beacon. She was like the thing during my period of living. Damn. And so they did basically a documentary that follows, they're on the search to find the Haitian model who was Mavis Beacon in the software program. And if you ask anybody, in my graduating class, we all know who Mavis Beacon is.
Damn. Ed, you're kind of old already. You're pretty old. But Luis is over there just
older.
Fucking graying.
Oh. Look at that.
He's fucking
gray hair.
Yeah. Look at him.
Speaking of old, Ed, talk about this old ass movie here.
The Electric State?
No. I moved that down.
Oh, well, I didn't see that. Hard copies, Louise. Hard copies.
God damn it.
God damn it. I've already changed the whole show, Ed.
All right. No. So I assume you're talking about The Brutalist.
Yes, I'm talking about The Brutalist.
This was my number 2 spot on my most anticipated of the year, the one that's been getting a lot of buzz out of festivals. The Brutalist. This trailer does not offer you a lot. But
you said this first off. We had this whole back and forth in our thread where we were like, it's a little bit of an inside bit at this point, but we were like having a conversation, me and Luis, being like, Ed, what are you talking about on this one thing? And you just kept being like, Reddit link. And I was like, oh, he is really pushing The Brutalist right now. When I finally watched that trailer, I was like, this is what the fuck we're talking about? He interrupted our conversation to be like, watch this lame ass trailer.
A conversation is a strong word for just like, I
don't know. Luis and I were doing a really clear A and B conversation. You seed your way in that bitch. Okay. Like what are you doing?
Just sharing Reddit things that I
no. What's happening is you're reading a link and you go share, which I am also guilty of. Okay.
Yes.
I'm on Instagram. Like share, Twitter, share, share. But it's just like I have my notifications on. So if I know Luis has texted me, I respond to that text, and if I send a tweet, I'm trying to be purposeful about it. Ed is like, you're gonna fucking see this content.
I got my point across though. And you did watch the trailer, right?
And I did watch the trailer.
We watched the trailer.
I was like, oh, look, I love it.
Can I tell you, the music in that has been just like in my head.
Hum it, Ed.
I can't now. I've got a baby crying in the background. Yeah, that's it. Welcome to America, Adrian Brody.
What's the Brutalist about? What's it about? What was the vibe, Ed?
You did it so eloquently last week, Luis.
I did? Oh.
Yeah, because I didn't
drunk.
give
I was
that
drunk.
information.
It's fine.
We were all drunk. We did an episode last week.
I was drunk while I listened, Hang on a
At
sec.
work, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, as you look up the description, go for
it. Yeah, shut up. When visionary architect Laszlo Toth and his wife flee post-war Europe in 1947 to rebuild their legacy and witness the birth of modern America, their lives are changed forever by a mysterious and wealthy client, which I believe is Guy Pearce. Spoiler alert. But yeah, so this movie, I mean, I kind of loved how it was set up. And that probably just makes me a douchebag, but it's basically just like giving you brief glimpses of pictures that we've seen about this movie prior to now, and then just like put the score on top of it.
I don't mind a trailer like that, a teaser like that, because it's like, just give me the vibe and the tone, and that'll bring me to the theater, and it delivers on that,
Yeah, and it's just got I don't know what you would call that, Luis, but the panning of the credits going over from left to right.
Definitely a unique take of something, you know what I mean? And I appreciate even the typography of the font of it all was very cool.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's still my number 2 most anticipated, I will say.
What did it win at? Did it win the Palme d'Or?
Not the Palme d'Or. It premiered at the Venice Film Festival. But I don't think it got like the Golden Lion, but it was up there. Hang on,
Silver Lion.
Right, the Silver Lion. Yeah,
I've heard a lot of stuff. I've heard a lot of people talking about this one. Like it's definitely going to be up there in the Oscar race in the run.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you heard our thoughts last week. If you don't know what it is, go back and listen to that episode.
Go check out the trailer. Check out the poster.
Poster. One thing I wanted to talk about here was at the very end. It said the Brutalist, and then it said in VistaVision, and then I was like, "What the fuck is a VistaVision?" So then I looked into it, and it's basically a better version of 35 millimeter film. So 35 millimeter film will go up like a skinny and tall up like this, right?
Yeah.
35 millimeter.
We should let Miguel grab a towel because he's getting wet over this.
Okay, here we go.
Say more.
And with VistaVision, it actually turns it around horizontally.
Like a wide screen, and it's going to be presented in 70
The one thing I love about
a wider
Luis,
screen with more real estate, baby. More real estate means more grain, more color, more luminance.
Yeah.
So it's a cheaper way to get that 70 millimeter IMAX.
What I love about Luis, just shut up for a second. What I love about you, Luis, is the fact that when he doesn't know something, he'll Google the shit out of that. All right, he'll chat GPT the shit out of it. He'll be like, "What was that? Run it by me one more again," and he'll come back with a fucking dissertation of this is what it is. Bop, 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 bop. Then I'm like, you know what, dude? Like, see, I'm a vibes guy, and Luis said, "No, that's not me." All right, like. I looked that shit up. I need to get
a master's in what a VistaVision is. You know,
I appreciate the shit out of that because that's the vibes. That's what we bring to the podcast.
I think that it's like there's a movement happening right now. Christopher Nolan is pushing it. Tarantino's pushed it. They've like really pushed the bounds and be like, "Hey, we want film again." Okay, and I'm going to talk about later in this film, but Strange Darling. Oh, Ed saw it too. You know, that movie opens up with like, this was filmed
in 35 millimeter.
You know, it was very clear, like at the very beginning, like it was a badge of honor. And there is just a sentiment amongst moviegoers like, listen, we've gone far as we can with 4K, 8K, 16K. It's looking hella pristine. And people are going back to be like, well, there's a reason why this other film model was really good too. There's like a hominess to it. So the fact that they're exploring into more different ways that we used to utilize film, 70, IMAX, 35, VistaVision, like
also,
it's cool.
Marketing it as such too, and just letting audiences know, like, hey,
it's for the cinephiles.
Well, 100%. But like, even people who are just like curious, where they're just like, damn, that movie looked good.
Yeah,
like, why is that? Because it was presented on film. It was presented
Mom, it's
on
not a phase. I'm fucking cine-curious, okay?
Yes. But you know what I mean? It's just like, that's presented up front. And like when, specifically with Strange Darling, is like, okay, you're looking at that graininess, that crispy, like almost retrograde. But it's something unique about it, and why people are also promoting IMAX a hell of a lot more too, because it is another presentation of film, and I think people are starting to catch on to that. It used to be like you were saying, it's just like the clearest, highest quality, and
that used to be the trend,
3D and whatever laser IMAX or whatever. But people are starting to realize that it kind of takes away a little bit, and or adds to it. It just depends on the movie, really. But
I think the thing is like you went on. It was easy, and people went on default to go to digital. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like it was cheaper, it was efficient.
Well, you're going to evolve with the equipment, and it was good until it wasn't.
And now it's like you get to choose as a DP, as a director. You could say, hey, I want my film to feel clean and crisp. We're working in politics. I'm shooting in 16K. I want that clean David Fincher look. Or I want this to feel more grimy, retro-y, or whatever, a grainy. Let's film at 16 millimeter. And let's not even do 35.
Right.
Like there are now choices you can make. Or you can be Nolan that says this fits IMAX. So you have a wider palette of options to see. Like, am I painting on canvas, wood, plaster, whatever? Am I designing on top of a coffee cup? Like all of these things. It's cool. Okay. We're moving on, Miguel. Don't worry. Did you guys see this Electric State trailer?
Yeah.
With the Russo brothers?
Yeah.
No. Go ahead.
Ed, what did you think about that one?
I thought it looked fun. I don't know, I don't know if it's like based on anything or whatever. But
yeah, it's based on a Norwegian's these like his animation designs. Have you guys seen this or no?
The trailer? Or the Norwegian design?
It's what inspired. It's a novel by
Is this
Simon.
the Russo brothers thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Electric State.
So they are adapting this
the novel. It's what it's
But
a novel
they're
with
doing...
a graphic novel, a 2018 dystopian science fiction illustrated novel by Simon Stahlenberg. Yeah.
Have y'all seen the original artwork from that? Is that what you're leading up to?
Yes, that's what I'm leading on to. Yeah.
Okay. So it took me a second. I haven't seen the trailer, but I did see the conversation about it where it was like the original artwork is really beautiful. Okay. And I think the conversation is that they don't quite capture that look in this trailer. Because it is a Russo brothers property at this point. It's like they do a little like syrupy, overproduced thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm trying to get an image here for Ed so he can kind of get a context of it.
I'm over here stalling.
I googled it. I googled it.
Okay.
I'm looking at it.
It's cool
hard,
as shit.
It's hard to Google it now actually because now it's being littered with the actual trailer of the movie.
Yeah,
so it's hard to decipher between the two. But yeah, this was like a very I feel like David Fincher would have been great to direct something like this, or even fucking Dune, Denis Villeneuve. Like he would have also been perfect, But he's been doing a lot of. Yeah, go for it.
What was that David Washington movie?
Christopher Nolan.
No, that just came out. No, that robot movie.
Gareth Edwards.
Yeah. Yes. I felt like that was like a step in that direction.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing. Visually, that movie looked. I'm
the creator.
On the name of that movie. The creator. That was visually. I feel like what they were doing.
That's what it was inspired by. Was this
Yes, and this artwork is beautiful. And I understand why people want to adapt a story from that. It's tough.
I think it's just because we already get this very colorful kind of experience with it. And this is something that maybe people are thirsting for. Like, let me get something different that we haven't seen. Look, I guess it looked a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be, but it still is not what Simon, what's his name? Stahlenhag had, for the original vision.
Yeah.
So it just feels like repeatable. It just feels repeatable. It's like, okay, we got Chris Pratt here doing this thing.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. It didn't feel like, I don't know. I guess it's fine.
I get it.
You'll watch it with family members,
Yeah. Not knowing the context of the book myself, I thought like the visuals that looked there, like even for a trailer, they looked solid. But yeah, like nothing that really wowed me beyond like the curiosity of like, okay, what are they going to do with these robots and stuff?
It's like we've seen it before, but it's like, okay, we're showing you these cool ideas. We got these cool ideas, but you're showing it through a lens that I've seen before so many times.
Yeah,
in like the way we do movies.
Like that Tomorrow War, that Amazon Prime movie that Chris Pratt did a couple of years back.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean?
About that.
I don't even know anything about that movie, but that was just like the feel of it. It just felt Like,
sorry, is Chris Pratt in this movie?
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's Chris Pratt and 11.
That's
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
No, you're joking.
No, they're all no.
Oh.
It's a Netflix movie. They have to have Millie Bobby Brown in it.
Yeah.
So.
Sherlock. Enola Sherlock.
Okay,
on that alone, I would just say skip this. You know.
Okay, so we're moving on. More like stuff outside of even the trailer. We can talk about the trailer, but there's just like stuff to talk outside of it. There's the new Dune Prophecy trailer. It's coming to HBO. You can watch it. You can't. You don't have to. But I just wanted to talk about like life after Dune. Like now, I said this was going to happen, didn't I? I said, and Steven didn't believe me. I was like, they're going to make a TV show, and they did. And I don't know how you guys felt about it. Do you remember this? It was on our group chat, all four of us.
I'm just like, how do you not? They've been talking about this Dune TV show for like a year now.
Oh yeah, I've been talking about Dune TV shows for 3 years now.
Yeah.
So this thing, doesn't it feel like just Game of Thrones, but just reskinned?
It's first off 100%. I hadn't even thought about that reskinned aspect. It is 1000%. The HBO was like, we need a new Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
and we have the rights to Dune.
But I would say this: The Penguin has been a pretty great show. Okay? So this has been like a moment for me where, okay, we're going to spin off with a TV show, and HBO is doing it. I'm already an HBO fan.
Of course.
This could be good.
Yes.
I did like Dune and Dune 2.
Of course.
I would like a world with it.
I'm looking at it a little bit.
Sorry, one more thing. We talked about it in our house where Dune, I think we were watching the first one, and we were saying like this could be an HBO show. Like they could prolong this. The thing that's really kind of hanging me up, and this is my last thought on it, is just the whole prequel aspect. I really hate prequels. Like, I hate when they're like, let's take the mystery out of this story and give you all the fine-tuned details. But it can work because also fucking House of Dragon works. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I swear to God. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
We got so much left.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overtalk you guys. I'm more so just like this. I'm in a really gray area with this show. I want it to be good, but I don't know.
I've already kind of committed to the idea that I probably won't watch it. I'm not.
Oh really? I probably will. I'll probably give it a shot. Like for
unless it's not that I'm like angrily opposed to it or anything like that. It's more of just
not
like
the bear.
Right.
It's not that fucking thing I won't see. Okay.
Oh, the fucking Bene Gesserit, man. They're getting me triggered. No, it's just more of like I just don't have the energy for it.
55 price.
And so far.
Okay.
So far,
you have the energy for it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, yes, it is like a yet another expansion of yet another franchise kind of thing.
Yeah.
And to all its credit, like you were just saying, The Penguin is like turning out to be a good show. Good. And like, but like Max and, you know, in association, HBO is still like a prestige show producer. Like, for the most part, they're still churning out you got The Last of Us. You know,
I would say they're showing up. So why would this work?
I'm not saying that they don't have some misses. They absolutely do. But at the same time, like especially with this kind of property, and they're clearly putting a little bit of money into it.
Money, budget.
I just like I don't have the time for it, and like you said, Miguel, is like I don't need this story like in my life personally. Like, whereas the Penguin does
for those who want more.
Yeah, the Penguin is more of like a middleman to the next movie.
It's pushing it forward.
Exactly. Whereas Dune is really just establishing the lore.
You already know.
Of it. And you could live with or without it. It's up to you if you're really into that stuff. If that could end up being like Westworld.
Who's this for? You know?
It's like you're gonna if you want to deep dive into that shit, you're gonna love.
There was a shot that one of the kids in that movie, the show looks like Timothy Chalamet, and it's like, oh my god, okay.
Like they're officially pretty much making the third movie. I'm just going to wait for that. That's all I care about.
What was that? You remember all those Batman Arkham games? And then they did like a Batman Arkham Origins. It was like the Montreal studio produced it.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, I guess we could play Batman this way. You know? It's
it's the same situation here.
A year from now or whatever, I'll be like, the Dune prophecy. I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I hope. And there was a couple of really good moments. And I think we're talking about budget. Some of the shots looked good. Like it was like, this is in that same world. I feel like I'm still there. In the same way that Penguin still feels like the Batman, but with a little bit of zhuzh around the edges.
Man.
That's what I kind of feel about this one. I will tentatively, cautiously watch this.
Will I watch the first episode? Of course.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens.
I mean, I just feel like, honestly, 4 of us and Steven, we're all going to watch this. And
Steven doesn't like the Dune stuff. Remember, he doesn't like. Well, he doesn't like the books. I know that. I didn't say about the movies or anything like that. Sorry, Steven, if I'm speaking for
honestly, I just kind of feel like this was right up his alley. I feel like he's going to have opinions, and Steven,
we'll bring him on anyway.
Conversation. Yeah, we'll force him.
Yeah. Well, so Dune, I mean, they're just doing a lot of stuff. Like they're being really greedy. It's like we got the Penguin, we got Dune, we got 3 House of the Dragon stuff. It's just like we're really soaking it all. Like
I get it. I'm already over that stuff,
But if this whole show,
that's happening.
If this whole show is the Bene Gesserit, right? Like that's a decent premise, right?
It is. And look,
there's a world with that.
They've been doing a good job with it, so I trust them. Like I'll be here.
And that's laid down for centuries. Of course you trust them.
The Dune universe is as kind of like developed as the Lord of the Rings and stuff. Like they have a lot of material that they can draw from. So again, there's going to be something there again for those diehard fans, and then even for those like people who are just like, oh yeah, I really like the movies. I'd like to see more of this.
And Ed, with your point about Last of Us,
like you're either just kind of like, I have the time for this, or I don't. I enjoyed the movies, but I don't have time for a show right now.
Yeah,
like most of Star Wars. But like, what if people start saying like, this is fucking Andor of Dune? Like then maybe I'll be curious. Like,
okay, all right.
But other than that, I'm just like, I'm okay for right now.
I'm on the edge of being
because House of Dragon is fun, but I wouldn't go as far as to say like it's been the best show of all time.
It's better than Game of Thrones.
Not even. We're like 2 seasons in. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you, Ed.
Yeah, like the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones are way better than the first 2 seasons of House of Dragon. I was like, I'll just say that. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on to another expansive IP here. Creature Commandos. You're like, what the fuck is a Creature Commando? Apparently, it's the first DCU thing that they're finally being like, hey, this is James Gunn's DCU, and we're ready to go. It's not a movie. It's not a real action TV show. It's an animated show. Miguel, go off.
I saw something. I'm ready. Okay. I saw something earlier today or maybe yesterday that was like, why are all adult animation TV shows, comedies wise, why do they all look like this? And it was like, basically everyone was going, ever since Family Guy and kind of Bob's Burgers and Futurama, right? Like there was like this animation comedy style where they all, Rick and Morty, they all kind of looked the same. That's how I felt watching this and going, this is the DC's Invincible. Like this is Invincible for the DC universe. I don't know. I quite know where Invincible lies in the whole comic spectrum, but it looked like that show, and it looked like we need that for DC. You know what I mean? There was a robot. There was like the gratuitous violence. There was like the Omni-Man kind of looking guy. There was like I said the robot already. It feels like there was
the Weasel.
Else. The Weasel, and that
there was Mrs. Frankenstein. There was
looking at it, I was like, this is Invincible, and it's what they're doing. And Invincible is a really great show, so I see why you would kind of want to like mirror that style a little bit, and especially if DC's like we want to emulate that format and push the boundaries. Rick Flag, played by Joel Kinnaman, he died in the DC universe. This is his father in this show. It's Rick Flag Sr. DC James Gunn has said, the animation is canon, so like people will go from animation to live action. So we should expect some of these people live action. We'll see.
Right.
Frank Grillo is already confirmed for like 3 projects.
Who's Frank Grillo playing?
He plays Rick Flag Sr. And so he's going to come in and he's going to for sure be in, I think they said Peacemaker 2, season 2, and also Green Lanterns or something like that.
Right.
He's there. Or Superman. Yeah, I think maybe it's Superman he's in.
Of course he's going to be in Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. With DC right now, it's like they're pushing all of these properties, and it's like every single one of them has to hit hard.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Correct me if I'm wrong. Amanda Waller's in this. That's That's her, right?
Viola Davis.
Yeah, that's Viola Davis, right?
At least it sounded like her. She is the DC universe, honestly. She's been through it.
She's the only fucking one. And good for her. And I kind of like that. She's the Robert Downey.
Like, you want me or not? Like,
yeah. Well, there's supposed to be that Waller show too, wasn't there? Isn't there like a Waller show that's coming out?
Yeah.
She for real was like, I mean, if you want me, you pay me, I'll show up. Yeah. And I'll fucking turn in the performance, but you're gonna pay me.
Because she was the only one. Just like when you go to see a movie like Suicide Squad or whatever, and you're just like, damn, Viola Davis just went all in on that. What the fuck was everyone else doing?
We were talking earlier about how studios push faces, but like I also hate when studios waste talent. You know what I mean? I hate when someone is like an Oscar-worthy actor, and then they
Oscar-winning.
Well, no, of course, no. Excuse me. But just that, I hate when they waste talent.
But like you know what, though? But what I love about it is she just didn't phone it in at any point.
Never.
You know what I mean? Ever. Never. Like she could have just like checked out and just be like, "This is a failed franchise." Forget about it.
That's not her. I want to say that's kind of like not her vibe, right? Like
no,
she doesn't phone things in. She's like, I don't care what it is. I will always show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she's
an
actor.
I mean, she's an amazing talent. So I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about her at all.
Check it out. It comes out. When does it come out? It comes out. I just had it out, but then I
really doesn't matter.
Other things
coming out.
Comes out this year, I think.
Watch it. Don't watch it.
Creature Commandos. Check it out on Max. Then we also have some more trailers. We have 3 more things we're going to talk about. But these are moments in time. Like I feel like the lot's kind of shifting. The sands are shifting, and we have the Legend of Ochi. This is an A24 movie. Basically, what I want to tell you, 2 things. 1, this is E.T. reskinned for the modern day.
Oh,
basically.
My God. 100%.
I told. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I was telling Ed earlier and he watched the trailer, so maybe we can talk about it now. It felt very like Where the Wild Things Are 2009. You know,
the trailer itself.
That's great.
100%.
Yes.
Yes.
What?
I have to say, of all the trailers that I couldn't believe I watched today, this was the one I was excited about. This looked so good.
The Brutalist?
Crazy. Willem Dafoe can do no wrong. I love that Willem Dafoe will do. Am I saying his name right?
Willem. Yeah. Willem Dafoe.
You know when you like say a name a million times, you go, "Wait, am I actually
Willem?" Right? Willem Dafoe.
It was just always William, but we've just been saying Willem all this time.
Big Dick Dafoe. He does no wrong. Same thing about Viola Davis. Like, just he shows up, and this is not a phoned in performance. Okay.
Can I say though, he does seem to be on this like lighthouse glitch right now.
You know, I don't
like, you like my lobster, don't you?
Imagine if you were like, I love Tex-Mex, and can I have Tex-Mex today? Can I have Tex-Mex tomorrow? Can I have Tex-Mex next week?
He's the indie like genre person's version's Tex-Mex. You know,
I'm just saying. Sometimes you like a meal and you want to eat it. You know, and sometimes you're like, let me have this meal a couple more times. Ed's over here caught up that I said Tex-Mex. Let me say fucking escargot. You know how you like love.
Hey,
you know how you love like
I resent
shrimp
that comment
pasta.
as if I don't enjoy Tex-Mex, you son of a bitch. I
don't know.
love burritos, you motherfucker. And
someone
who
loves burritos doesn't wear that shirt. Okay, so I just assume.
Now we have a problem with the shirt. I get it. All right.
He's done so much, Willem Dafoe. He's doing like all these like quirky little things, Kinds of Kindness, Poor Things. He did Saturday Night, Asteroid City. He's everywhere.
He is everywhere.
The Northman, Nightmare Alley, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
But hang on. We're getting caught up on Willem Dafoe. This trailer looked really
precious.
Good.
Yeah,
I loved the idea of this, where they were like, "There's this Speaking of, we talked about Wolfman at the beginning of the podcast. This is like this Wolfman monster story, where the whole town has this like, whatever.
It's like an island. They're an island.
Right. Yeah. How to Train Your Dragons, but with monsters.
Yes, Ed. And then I want to go ahead and mark that real quick. It's the one and only time. We'll all agree. But just the way that they're like, he's a monster. You can't confront this. And she goes, yes, I can. There's a really great line. You sent me your boys, and I'm gonna, turn you into. It's a paraphrase, but he's essentially saying like, right, I'm gonna turn you into men. You're gonna protect the village or whatever.
Yes.
And then it's like the main character is a girl, and she is on this. Okay.
My bad.
He just flicked the vodka top off the bottle. I loved the trailer. I loved that they pivoted and they go, it's not a monster movie. It's like this girl raising this baby, and it also felt like that Wes Anderson Moonlight Kingdom. What was that movie called?
Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom. Sorry, yeah. Where they go on their own journey and the whole camp comes after them.
Yeah.
You know? That's how it felt.
Yes, it's also it too.
That's how it felt.
I've got one more that it felt like to me was The Green Knight.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
how so?
Luis,
I've watched it. Yeah, he's like on a journey.
Just like the rich colors, and then just kind of the trekking across certain landscapes, and you feel like the movie is going to be kind of like one of his kind of quiet, reflective, more than like action kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like true to A24 and stuff like that, but and like we were saying, Where the Wild Things Are, which ended up being one of those very kind of like thought-provoking, more quieter movies. You go into expecting one thing, it turned out to be so maybe just like in that sense more kind of reflective than adventure-y than maybe it's giving off. But just again, more so just the imagery. It's like these beautiful landscape images that feel almost fantasy, but blended with just real landscapes. So
I think, and two more things to like call out is the Ochi, the character itself. Like this could have been easily a CGI character now.
Yeah,
but I think the way it was made, it's like this is practical
Grogu effect.
And I think but like the puppeteering of the character is very good. Like it's not just like, oh, we'll make it a Grogu. It's like I think they're able to emote it in such a way where it's like, oh,
they're making choices.
What a cute thing. Yeah. And I will kill people to protect Ochi.
Yeah.
But I also feel like we've said like 5 or 6 different other examples of what this movie is. And it's kind of fun that they're gonna like maybe take all of these things and do their own thing with it,
Yeah.
This was the one, like I said, of all the trailers, this was the one that I was like, let me lock the fuck in on this. This looks really good.
And again, it wasn't the Brutalist, right?
No, believe it or not. I'm sorry.
But equally to the Brutalist, great font choice for the title of the movie. It looks
for
Uchi
choice. Or the Brutalist?
Yeah. Both. Those are the both. Those are the winners. Both.
Chat GPT.
Okay, we got two more, ladies and gentlemen.
I wish we would have finished on this one, but no, we've got two more shitty ones. Let's go.
Okay, this one I really want to talk about this, but I was shocked, and I didn't really want anybody to really watch this trailer. I was shocked that these people are still making content. Do you guys remember Trailer Park Boys?
Yep.
They're still making content, and that's all I want to say. They have a new movie called Standing on the Shoulders of Kitties, The Bubbles and the Shit Rocker Story.
This was walk hard. I couldn't believe,
but there's just something about these creators. They're from Canada. They made a cheap ass TV show long time ago. It had Elliot Page when he was younger, and they're just like riding on this thing. They're like, we're a one trick pony. We don't give a fuck. But they are milking the cow of the Trailer Park Boys. This is like the latest Trailer Park Boy movie. And
appropriately, like, when was the last time we talked about Trailer Park Boys? They were like, no, we got another one in us. Okay. I got another one.
How many seasons do you think that they've done in their lives?
I mean, I don't give a shit. 7?
Just name a number. 7?
Yeah.
You'd be wrong. 12.
Fuck off.
No, that's what I'm saying, Miguel.
Oh,
they did 12, and they also have like movies and specials. That's all. This is all I'm saying is like, it's not about the trailer. It's about the fact that they keep making stuff. Like, you think they're like, oh no, we're done. We're gonna rest. Listen, y'all, they're not gonna stop. Like, I don't think they're ever gonna stop.
Actually, reflecting on this moment, I've super been into Grey's Anatomy lately.
Yeah,
on a rewatch, and they're in their 24th year or something like that.
This is the Grey's Anatomy of like.
This is that.
Yeah. That's all I really want to mention about this one. And then the last thing I want to talk about was this is more of a news thing than anything. But Severance season 2, they dropped a trailer. It's one of Apple TV Plus's darlings. And so you disagree, Ed? Have you seen?
No,
Severance?
I don't. I remember you had watched the first season, but I haven't watched any of it.
I would say that this and then Ted Lasso would be one of their like star childs.
Kind of
I'd
the
say
big
Slow
ones.
Horses is up there too. These
Slow
days.
Horses too. Slow Horses is a dark horse. Like
that one's going on its 4th season now or something.
That is crazy. Like, you're right. Slow Horses is another one, like a silent little darling.
I would say that Severance is one of the big ones though for Apple TV, because
the fact that it's only going on its 2nd season and it's gotten so much buzz.
It's like a Stranger Things for Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Because Apple TV Plus likes to do all these like very like technological mind twist bendy like type of content, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes. So anyway, Severance season 2, that's what's happening. That's the end of trailer talk. We got what we're into. Miguel.
Luis, I just feel like...
Can I just spit through things? Like, I'm just spitting stuff.
Listen,
like, I'm not trying to list.
Can I just say, sorry, just real quick, is Ed's off the podcast, so it seems like you're like, let me compensate by like putting in 13 things every episode.
Well, I didn't know it was coming.
And
I didn't know it was coming.
I have a child. I have work. I don't have time to watch all these things, okay? What I'm into section is always so small compared to you guys, okay?
Sometimes
it's the motion of the ocean is what I'd like to say. Luis, go ahead.
Okay, real quick. I watched Strange Darling. Ooh, baby, the color and the cinematography is very nice. I love it. A lot of horror is happening this year. Maxine, Long Legs, Strange Darling, Cuckoo, Substance. Am I missing anything, Ed?
Immaculate, the first Omen.
The first Terrifier 3. I mean, there's just so many fucking like horror movies this year. This is the year, and so I'm catching up on it. Strange Darling, beautifully shot. It's shot by an actor that
Giovanni Ribisi.
Thank you, Gad. Thank you.
Oh,
yes, he's a cinematographer.
He's the medic from Saving Private Ryan, the dickhead from Avatar.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage's brother from 60 Seconds Gone.
Gone
yeah.
in 60 seconds,
Ribisi.
Right. No. I think
Phoebe's brother.
It's you know what's one thing I want to talk about this movie? The color. Very Kubrickian. Like, it has very bold ass colors. Check this shit out. But once you start rolling, it rocks.
I gotta say, hang on, stop. There is so much more to that movie than just the cunt fucking color. And you know that for a fact, because I told you that I told you that I struggled for half of that movie until it made the switch. So I just want to know, like, where were you at for the first half?
What's funny about that is, like, once they made the switch, I was like, oh, I get it. Now it's like, it's gonna roll down. Like, it's just like, the mystery is fizzled a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked the I don't want to say too much about the movie.
I was put off initially because I felt like
guys, I'll hop off if you want to talk.
No, we're gonna be done in 20 seconds. No, 3 minutes. Ed, yeah, I mean, when it's
not the same.
When it started giving all the text and then, like, the things, I don't even want to say what it is. When it started rolling, I was like, I started rolling my eyes a little bit. It was like, oh, here we go. And then I was like, I'm here for it. I have nothing to do. I've dedicated my time. And then when it was rolling, I was like, all right, I'll sit here and play with you a bit. And then I was captivated by the visuals, the performance. She was great.
Incredible.
You know?
Yeah.
So good.
And so I liked the way it was orchestrated. You know what I mean? I didn't have a problem with the up top, to be honest. I thought that I bought into it. And I know, well, I can't say anything else, but that's
all right.
That's it.
I wouldn't.
Maybe we could
either.
talk on the side. We'll talk on the side.
Yeah, we'll talk on the side.
Miguel's not going to see it.
No, as it went on, I couldn't believe.
Ratchet and Clank, I finished that game. Now I'm starting Horizon. Maybe I'll finish it. And then Duncan Egg. Steven got me this book, the Seven Knights of the Kingdom. So now I'm reading that, and I'm reading about Duncan Egg, and I'm having a good time with this George R. R. Martin the first time I'm reading it.
I mean, shout out, Steven, but I'm more mad that you glossed over Horizon that you're about to start.
But he's only starting it. What are you going to say?
Hang on. There's nothing else I can say about it.
No, but we've had a whole conversation separately. I'm the video game guy. I thought we would talk about this, but he was like, well, hang on. Steven gave me a book. Steven's not on this podcast, okay? Well, he hops on.
And I have two things to talk about.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get through. And the thing is, like, I just got to the part where, like, you can actually play the game. You know what I mean? So it's
I get you. No, I know. I want to talk about it later, but I just, like, you know.
It's gonna be, listen, it's gonna be hard for me to jump back on because I'm trying to talk quick so I can get through this. It's gonna be hard for me to jump on because Fortnite's ending in a couple days. I gotta play this other game for work, and then there's Horizon, so it's gonna take some time.
I get it. No, I'm ready.
Duncan Egg, George R. R. Martin, very funny. First time reading it. Egg's little son of a bitch. And then Sarah started watching Suits, and then I started watching Suits, and then it's like it is pretty good. It's addicting and fun.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't expect to like it, but you watch it too?
No, but that is a show I could sit down and watch because we're on this Grey's train right now. Suits feels very in the same category.
Suits shouldn't work, but it works for some reason.
I know.
It's like it doesn't need to, but it does. And then I'm continuing my I didn't even put this on here. I'm continuing my WWF rewatch. Did I tell you guys about that? I'm rewatching wrestling from 1997 to 2000s. I'm trying to re-experience all that. Is this news?
We need to get Bryce Perkins on the show.
Wait, really?
He's been rewatching wrestling from since whenever. But that's basically
actually,
what he does.
I'm not joking. We should probably get him on board because I'm up.
We need to take a 45-second break and just shout out Ed for a second and not knowing how to. He fat-fingered Instagram recently. That's a phrase. That's a phrase. It doesn't have anything to do with your fat fingers. Okay, your fingers are very normal size. Okay, but the other day Ed sent a video and he sent it to like 5 different people and it accidentally threw us all in the same chat.
And you guys committed so hard. God damn it! I haven't looked at that single chat.
We could have walked away, but what I love about it is Luis, Steven, me, Bryce. We were all like, nah, you want to do a group chat? We'll do a group chat. Hold on. And Bryce was like, yeah, I love the podcast, so he should totally come on, okay? Ed kind of accidentally cultivated this. We're ready to go.
Bryce, I heard you like WW. I'll put WWE because that's what it's called.
Yes,
now.
I'll heart it right now. Dude.
Okay. But no, I'm rewatching it. I could go into why I'm back on it, why I'm rewatching it. I don't want to waste our time in the pod right now with that, but it is happening. And then the Penguin, obviously catching up. This show, I just keep going more and more. Like I'm digging it more and more. But it better. This is what I got to say. Rising Up on the Hill, it better fucking land. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna be upset.
Luis, I only hear about good things, except from certain publications. So
I know. I can't believe that certain publications would say certain things about this show.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Luis, Bryce just told me that he started rewatching WWE from '96. So you guys, and he's been watching.
Fuck you, Luis.
Wait, where is he right now? Fuck, I'm at 90. I went from
call him on the pod. No.
I've never met you before, but can we talk about this real quick?
Hey, yo, Bryce.
Where are you on your rewatch right now? Because he listens to this pod, right?
Yeah.
Bryce, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is where I'm at. I'm in 1998 Unforgiven. Okay, we are past WrestleMania 14. Let's go.
All right. He's in. I was expecting him to come back and tell me like a year, and he was like, about like May '96. I was like, motherfucker, you have not been you've been watching wrestling so much. You're not in just May of '96.
Just anyway, imagine.
Well, it's a lot. It's 2 hours of content like per episode.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, listen, I'm not watching. And then Bryce's. This is literally Bryce's for you now. I am not watching every single fight at this point. Now I'm kind of locked into certain characters, and I'm like, this is someone random. Skip. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm here for Nation Domination. I'm here for Degeneration X. Anybody else? Skip. And so there's not a lot of I'm not listening to all the storylines. Like I do need to keep moving on with my life a little bit.
It's a lot. It's dense.
Oh, okay, Luis. Okay,
what?
Precious ass timeline. He's like,
are you kidding me? I'm stuck on traffic. I'm like, no, that's a good German suplex. Okay.
Okay. I mean, just like quick little side note. Luis has told us about watching multiple movies in traffic. Like you can watch. You know what I mean?
Well, it's 30 minutes for 0.5 miles sometimes at work. We're not here to talk about that. Penguin's looking good.
Bryce.
Miguel, Ed, take it away. I'm done.
Miguel, I know you've got plenty to talk about.
No, I love the fact that Ed jumped on the podcast and said, no, I'll take the last slide. I've got 30 seconds of dialogue, okay?
Go.
Guys, you know me. I love a PlayStation sale, okay? Ed, you just got a PlayStation. Luis, you got a PlayStation. Like, y'all know this is what I talk about, all right? I just bought, okay? Ed, real quick, how much does a PlayStation game cost? One game.
From what I've found so far, like a new game is like $70.
Ed, I just love that you're back. Okay.
Yeah.
I just love
you're locked in now.
Locked in, dude. I love that. A PlayStation 5 game, dude, a standard ass game is $70. It's kind of wild. I appreciate inflation. I appreciate people's hard work for games. But like I bought the Batman Arkham Knight. I bought the whole season pass. I bought all that shit on PS4 the day it came out for $80. That whole ass game. And I played like 600 hours of that game.
Oh, that's valuable. Okay, that was worth it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it was worth it. But now a base game costs $70. And so I'm a little more hesitant to buy things. But PlayStation, they lock in, Ed. I'm almost done.
No, I'm I'm
PlayStation.
I'm agreeing with you. Like, whew,
it's a lot of money.
Yes.
It's expensive. I don't want to spend this money.
I went through a loophole to get like the new FIFA game.
No, when you mentioned, we didn't really talk about this, but when you were like, I bought this game for $20, I was so hard. Like, that's a great sale. Okay, we love a sale, Ed. So the thing is a previous PlayStation game, one game used to cost $60. Okay, this week I bought 3 games for $60.
What were they?
And it's a pretty good deal, okay? I bought the whole Harry Potter game, the High Life, Luis, you and I talked about the game like a year ago.
That game. Yeah.
It was on like the Xbox Game Pass, but PlayStation would never get it.
Yes.
But High Life, and I also got Hot Wheels 2, the fully vamped up
You
version.
and Forrest have played that before. You've talked about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally bought 3 games. Kristen wants to play Harry Potter. Forrest wants to play Hot Wheels. I want to play High Life. I got all 3 of those games for a PlayStation 4 price, $60, which I know is a lot, but I got like pretty good content for $60. I've been waiting on this Harry Potter game to go on sale. Like it was $20, I think. And it's like previously the lowest it went was like in the 30 range. Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty good deal for what I was looking for.
That's a pretty good one by all accounts.
Yes.
Yeah,
people like this game.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I was just really looking forward to a steal. I felt like I can get 3 pretty solid games for $60. I spend more than that on Fortnite. So let's go. Okay.
Let's go.
Ed, let me ask you real quick before
deal. You're right. It's like very intoxicating. I'm like, well, it's only like $3.99. Why wouldn't I?
I needed a good ease in, dip my toe kind of purchase, and when I saw that sale of those 3 games that I told you about, well, no, I have the FIFA game separate, but I got a Arkham Knight package deal.
Yes, you did.
I got the Mad Max game, which we've been talking about, and then on a whim, I got like the Sonic Racing game, more so as like a kid-friendly game to have.
Oh, right.
And it's fine. Was it the most expensive of the 3? Yes. Do I regret that? Absolutely.
But
we love
the
our
amount
children.
that I spent on Arkham Knight on its release and PlayStation 4 days, the very first day it came out, the amount I spent on that game to what you spent, you got a great deal.
Yeah, it was a steal.
Yeah. No, I knew like that doesn't come as $5. You know what I mean? It was just like and then the FIFA, like I got the 24 version because I wanted the current England team, and I got it for half the price by ordering the physical copy from Target.
Ed, hold on. Did you screenshotted us, or you took a picture of you in a tournament and you were in the finals? Did you win that final?
I have not played the final yet.
Are you worried?
No, that's good. I love it. I love it. On the edge of our seats, is he gonna?
Is he really do it?
Jump on Twitch, and then we want to see you play.
Listen,
do I have to get that?
Don't
have to get that on.
That. All right.
Is that like a separate app I need to get on there?
Like twitch.gov.
I have a Twitch from trauma.
No, in 2 years, we'll get you on Twitch.
All right.
Ed, what are you into?
Yeah.
What am I into? Let me just tell you real quick. I've been flying through Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story on Netflix.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Okay. Have you guys been watching that?
No.
Okay. Were you going to?
No.
You can spoil it. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I just I figured most people know the story. I didn't watch Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, just because this seems so trivial at the time. And I know a lot of these kind of murder stories, especially who is it? What's his name? Mike Flanagan? Is that who this is? Who's the American Horror Story guy?
No, that's freaking Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy, right? It's Ryan Murphy
did
stuff.
This. That's him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hit and miss with him. I like his American crime stories. I don't watch American Horror Story. I didn't.
You should, and I would love to. I would love to recommend.
I have. I've dabbled, and we've had that conversation.
That's fair.
But the generally speaking, anyway. So I know it is kind of like a tabloid version of events, kind of thing. But it is, still intriguing. It's a story I don't know a whole lot about. And I will say that the acting is pretty incredible. there is one episode, and again, the story for the most part of this is unraveling to me for the first time, so I don't know what's going to happen next, kind of thing. But there's one episode where Eric Menendez is basically going through all of the quote-unquote abuse that he suffered through his parents, and the entire episode is one single shot. The entire time, it's just him and the back of his lawyer's head, and he's telling his story, and it's like the conversation. But this is like a 40-minute episode, and it's just slowly zooms in gradually over the course of the episode till it's a tight close-up, and then it just ends. And that episode just really just kind of shakes you a little bit. Like, it's just like this moment of kind of like deep intensity, but also like very traumatic, very uncomfortable, which you can only imagine for the actors as well. And just like that process of trying to make that work. And God, it's very effective. But then it makes it even more disturbing in the grand context of the whole case.
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting. It was very well done. And so it's got me really intrigued. You know, it is, like I said, it's very just glossified version of the story as a whole, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But to that effect, it seems to be working. And I'm just curious to see. I'm almost done with it. I've got maybe 2 episodes left.
How many episodes are there total?
I want to say there's 8.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very interesting how it's handled. And again, not going with any expectations. Secondly, and this is the main one I wanted to talk about, is I did get to see The Substance.
Ed, I was going to see it. I'm literally going to see it this week. Like, that's like the thing I'm going to see.
All right, well, then I'll hold off. I'll just hold off.
Just hold off. I think maybe
I
like
guarantee I'll be back next week, but I do have so many thoughts. It's a wild movie. That's all I'll say. It was what I expected, but then like just how crazy it gets was beyond what I would have expected.
That is what I'm hearing about, like especially the third act.
Yes.
Something.
Oh my God, the third act is crazy.
Okay.
But like, you know, anything I can just say without spoiling is like, visually, Luis, I feel like you're gonna love the visual language of this film. Mm-hmm. The cinematography just like pops. It's so vibrant. The colors are very purposeful and beautiful, but also just kind of covering very ugly things. Like, I will say it's got some of the most grotesque things in there, and that's before you even get to like the body horror stuff. I'm not very good with body horror.
No, yeah. But you handle it. I mean, you watched the whole thing, so that
I did. I watched the whole thing, and it was. But by the end of it, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, what did I just watch? Anyway, it's. But at the same time, it's wild. It's kind of fun, and the way that it is, the way it's thought out and that it plays out is pretty great. It kind of just sucks you in. And then it repulses you. Yeah, I think it'll be a fun experience.
I'm gonna try to watch. I was trying to watch Cuckoo.
It's a tough watch.
Cuckoo.
That's the third time you've mentioned it, so I hope you fucking watch it.
I will watch it. Well, I tried to watch it last night, but the Plex version that I had was not in English. So then I was like, well, shit, I got to find another Plex version of it. And then I watched that. Okay. So. Because that's I know people are like, oh, it was like okay, but it was good, it was fun, but it was okay at the end. But I still want to see that
in Dutch.
Yeah, but I want to see that one. I think that one and The Substance are like my next thing, because then it's been crazy. We also had watch the TV Glow, the Devil at Midnight or whatever. The Devil
Where's
the Devil all the time?
No, the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. I'm just telling you, I'm gonna do a ranking of all those like horror type of movies that come out, because this has been a very particular, interesting like year of versatile. Well,
horror has been gathering momentum in the last 5-10 years, and I feel like I'm not saying it's going to happen. Like this is going to be the year, but we are starting to crack away at like people want to do horror, and people are throwing everything at horror right now.
And it's not like the typical cheesy horror or like studio horror that we're seeing.
The
like
most
these are
original horror that we've seen in quite some time. So yeah, you're looking at like people like Demi Moore and The Substance getting Oscar nominations. I'm not saying that's necessarily in the bag, but I could see why. And
that would be wild if that happened.
I think it would be pretty cool if she did. But like on top of other things, like you and I were talking about Naomi Scott and Smile 2.
Yes, which I also hear is really good.
Willa Fitzgerald in Strange Darling was phenomenal. So yeah, I think it's opening
Naomi Scott, Fitzgerald for Strange Darling. Longlegs, she was fantastic. Demi Moore in Substance. Obviously we had the return of Mia Goth in Maxine, even though it wasn't as good as the other ones. It was still a return. And then what else did we have here? I feel like I have more I could say, but it's just like there was a long list
coming. But like,
yes.
But people are starting to take notice, kind of like when it was like when The Dark Knight didn't get nominated for Best Picture. That opened up the conversation, and since then we've seen like Black Panther nominated and stuff like that. I think that's starting to unfold more so for horror now too.
I think we should thank Toni Collette in Hereditary, beginning kind of this like whole
people who should have but didn't.
Yes,
but that started the conversation. Yes,
I smell a ranking.
It's coming, baby.
Horror performance
of this.
Y'all, what a great episode.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Punch Drunk Nerd. It's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me has been
Miguel Sanchez
and Ed Bull.
And tune in next week to see if Ed will be back, and tune in next week to hear what our future discussion will be. Ed, any advice you have after like having a second child?
Don't do it. Just have one.
Don't.
Stop at one. Especially after 6 years. Just don't do it. If you're thinking like, oh, maybe we could. Maybe you don't. No, it's great. Just, if you do, just, I don't know.
Be ready.
Help each other out. That's all you can do. Yep.